Hey guys, back again. This is Sam, and today topic we're going to talk about HTML versus WordPress or a CMS platform websites. We're going to talk about the speed, the skills requirement, and the cost to develop the website or the project. Okay, so let's start with the skills. What is HTML at first? HTML is a markup language as and it's you do really need to have a basic coding to create your own platform. So basically you need basic programming knowledge, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or Ruby, Python, PHP. You don't need to know Ruby, Python, PHP if you don't want to go for advanced skills. So just for basic things for to develop a good web page website, you're okay with HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. CSS stands for Cascaded Style Sheet. So now, do you need coding on when you use a WordPress or a CMS software? You really do not require any knowledge of any coding. These are pre-built applications which you just have to drag and drop it. And so the competitors of WordPress, or say any platform that are similar to WordPress, are Wix.com, Weebly, Joomla, or Drupal, right? So what's the web platform you can use for creating your own HTML or develop your own HTML website? Well, to my experience, this is just like a personal preference. So I like to use Eclipse, or you can just use a Notepad, or there is a little software which is a Notepad++, or for a basic, for a starter or for a beginner, you can use Adobe Dreamweaver. They have a very good application which is very handy, and it runs in a real time. So if you are a starter, or if you want to learn about how to create your own website using a developer platform, you might want to use Adobe Dreamweaver. That's my own preference. So let's talk about the speed now. What's the difference in the speed between HTML and CMS, or say WordPress? Well, the minimum upload time with HTML is very low, so which is really good. The reason because you are not using your database most of the time. It's just your server that you're using, of your hosting server. But when you use on a CMS or a WordPress, you're using the database of your client, which is the provider of your applications, say those plugin providers. All right, so that slows down a little bit sometime. Now the second thing on the HTML part is that like we mentioned, that it does sometimes very rarely use a database unless you have to use it. But most of the HTML build websites are hosted in your server, so you really do not require any kind of a database access requirement. But in a CMS platform, you do need to retrieve information from your client or from your provider's database, and so that's the only reason, like I was telling you, that why it slows down a little bit, the speed to upload the web page. And the third point, these are good for HTML is good for small, medium, or as a large enterprise, and it depends on what are your usage and why you are going to use HTML platform for your business. But I'm not saying that it's just suitable for a small, medium. It is suitable for a large scale as well. It depends on what kind of coding advanced level that you are going to implement on it, and then use for your business at any scale. So, but I would not prefer, it's a self-preference, so I would not prefer for a large enterprise using a CMS platform or things like that, because those are mostly handled or managed by a third party, say other providers, so you're using somebody's gateway or database or storage or to store your business information. So on the other side, it's good if you have e-commerce in a small, medium scale, or say small scale. But if you are running on your own, or if you run something like $250,000 per month business, I would not prefer to go with a CMS platform. So the last one is the cost. So the cost of HTML and WordPress CMS websites. Like we said, the number one is required programmers. So unless you are a programmer, you know, this things is the only thing that you really need to focus on when you design on HTML. Because if you're not a programmer, then you might want to switch with the WordPress, because to start a business platform using HTML, you really have to have a little bit of knowledge about how to do coding and use your CSS or JavaScript at the least, right? So do you require programming? Yes, you do require programming. So basically you need some engineers, unless you can do yourself. But do you require any programmer on a WordPress website? No, you really do not need anyone. And the second thing is that in HTML platform, you're going to be using your hosting provider's platform. So the maintenance is very less. Once you developed the applications or the website, unless you want to change the tables or the design, the layout, and all those stuff, the maintenance is very less. But where in WordPress, it's more or less maintenance costs. It depends on what kind of plugins do you use, or what kind of service do you opt, or so you want to, or you use in your WordPress website, right? So is it time consuming in HTML? It's a little bit time consuming, because you need, in case if you want to change anything on your website, probably you might need to start rewriting your programming or your coding on your website. And is it time consuming in WordPress? No, it's not. It's just like a drag and drop stuff, so that won't take much time. And about the controls on your applications or your website, in HTML, you you have your own hosting. You upload it, you control the entire things. But in WordPress, you are using somebody's database or somebody's applications to run your own platform. So basically, let's say for a contact information, you might use Form 7, or you might use MailChimp and all those extra things. Those are required for WordPress for some people, or say most of the people. So for that reason, those applications are owned by a third party. You have to pay for them. So the security part of those things are that if this company got shut down, then you lost your data, you know. But if it doesn't, you just have to pay the premium or the monthly subscriptions or the yearly subscriptions to use or continue their services. And number fifth, in applications cost less. Like we mentioned, it's just you have designed your website using your JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, or the other coding languages. The cost is very less. You just have to pay for your hosting service, and if you do not know how to program your website, then you probably might want to hire somebody who can do programming for you. So that's the main cost. But on the WordPress or CMS website, you have to pay for a subscription basis. So you have to pay for the plugins, or you have to pay for any functions that you use in your WordPress platform. So that's a little bit here and there too. And the sixth one, do you require any update on your website every now and then? For most of the HTML, you really do not require, unless you want to change a few things. But in WordPress, do you require it? Yes, most of the time, because it's provided by a third party, you know. So somebody is trying to update their applications, what they are selling to the market. It's not necessarily that you don't have to update it, but at the same time, if you do not update it, there are some functions that might lag here and there. So sometimes whenever you use their plugins, it's good to update their applications and have the updated versions running in your platform. So how long does it take to update every application? It depends. Some developers update their applications every month, but at an average between 2 to 3 months, you might want to just check in your dashboard and update if you really need any update on your plugins or any applications that you use. And the seventh one is the development cost is minimum for programmer. So if you're a programmer, you're saving a lot of money in developing your website. You just need the hosting. That's all it matters. And if you are not a developer, you can use a WordPress, but it's just like a drag and drop. Somebody has built up the whole applications for you. What you need is just drag and drop and design in your own creativity, but you can also purchase at the same time somebody's plugins, and you can link those functions to your website. Number 8, are these SEO friendly? Sure, HTML is both are same. It's the same, but why I have mentioned here SEO friendly medium, because you need to do every work manually for HTML. But for WordPress and all other CMS, you really don't have to. For example, let's say for Yoast is one of the applications that is very helpful. You can integrate with your WordPress, and once you integrate their plugins in your WordPress, you can just do it very easy way. So it's just that there are some free versions there are some paid versions. So if you want to try it out, you can just try it with the free version. Once you are okay with and you want to advance your skill set, then you can go for the paid version of Yoast, who helps you on providing to do your own SEO on your website. So number 9, it's the file upload is minimum, like we have mentioned over here. Like number 3, file upload minimum. So once you upload your contents on your website, on your hosting server, that's all it takes. So you're done. You have the FTP extension that uploads to your hosting database. That's all. But for the WordPress and the CMS, other CMS users, sometimes it takes long, but the display, the output, the output is instant. Let's say you just design it, one layout, you put the text, the image, the video, the contents basically, and then you just click on update it. It's just instant. But for HTML users, until the file is transferred from your computer to your hosting server, it takes some time. But if it's a less file, it's a very large, it depends on the file basically. So if it's a small file, it won't take more than like 5 to 10 minutes, but it depends on the file. But to get the display of what's the new information that you add on your website, it depends on what kind of a platform you use. So in HTML, you have to upload using FTP applications, and then it takes 5 to 6 minutes for a basic information. But for WordPress user, it's instant. For the last one, it's just secure or not. Okay, so number 10, security, it's high. Like I said, you're not using any other database or applications or any way, you're not providing anybody any kind of an access in your website, right? So the security part is very, very high. So in HTML, because it's you who control it, and you can also always go for the higher level if you have your own HTML thing, and at the same time, if you're a programmer, then you know it's you who control the whole applications. But in a WordPress, sometimes I would say it's medium, because again, your website is built based on somebody's pre-built platform, and in that you are integrating your ideas, your contents, your files and everything, but using their plugins. So basically, it's just like your file, you are allowing everybody to access it, and then you're also storing those informations on their database. So the security part, I would say it's medium. It's good, but I'm just saying it's medium. If I have to rate it, but if it's for HTML, it's high. It's really safe and secure. Okay, so that's all for today with our discussions about do you use HTML or WordPress for your website. So it's just my personal feedback, and if you'd like to know more about this information, we can always have conversations about it, and you can always comment, have or leave your notes and questions so we can discuss further. And for now, thank you so much for sparing your time and sharing your time, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.